The mighty Sumerian civilization stood on the brink of collapse. Its grand cities like Uruk and Eridu succumbing to the relentless march of time.
Ancient Sumer, when you look at their tablets and like, what are they saying? And why would they dedicate so much time to talking about this stuff?
Exactly.
Why do they have pictures of giant, enormous people-looking things with like a humanoid with a tail sitting on their lap? Like, what is this? Just fiction?
Yeah.
The Anunnaki, celestial beings who had once ruled and guided the mortals, gathered in their last council beneath the towering ziggurat of Nippur. It was a moment of reckoning. Enlil, grim and unyielding, declared humanity a failed experiment. "They are flawed," he thundered, his voice echoing through the halls. "Weak and defiant. They have squandered what we gave them." Enki, the cunning protector of mortals, rose in defiance. "No," he countered, his words measured but sharp. "Not all are lost. The Amorites, though scattered and restless, hold potential. They are survivors, builders, fighters." The council fractured. Frustrated and furious, a faction of rogue Anunnaki abandoned their kin, swearing vengeance not only on humanity, but also on the gods who had turned their backs. The rift grew wider as ancient records from tablets now housed in modern museums hint at similar dissensions among the gods in mythological accounts. In the harsh Mesopotamian landscape, a young Amorite chieftain named Ishbel stood at the edge of his destiny. His people, weary from endless wandering, yearned for a place to call their own. One evening, as the golden light of the setting sun bathed a crumbling Sumerian temple, Ishbel ventured inside. The air was heavy with ancient power, and his steps echoed against the cold stone walls. He paused before a luminous tablet, its surface alive with symbols that seemed to pulse with their own heartbeat. The symbols, likely an ancient form of proto-cuneiform, hinted at a forgotten script, a hybrid of celestial and mortal language. As his fingers brushed against it, visions flooded his mind. Giants with eyes like blazing stars, towering mountains hiding buried secrets, and a single name, Rephaim. The voice that whispered to him was not mortal, and its message was clear. His path led to the mountains of Bashan. Far to the north, in the rugged peaks of Bashan, Og, the last king of the Rephaim, brooded over the fading legacy of his people. The giants, born of divine and mortal blood, had been abandoned by their creators and left to endure an age of decline. Ancient and weary, Og longed for a chance to restore the glory of his kind. The Rephaim, mentioned in biblical texts and corroborated by archaeological findings in the Levant, were said to dwell in Bashan, a land steeped in myth. When the air trembled faintly with the activation of the tablet, Og felt a shift in the fabric of fate. It was a signal that could not be ignored. While Og pondered his awakening purpose, Mesopotamia was thrown into chaos. The rogue Anunnaki, led by the vengeful Ninurta, descended upon the region with fury. Their wrath manifested in plagues, droughts, and the merciless destruction of villages. The Amorites were no strangers to hardship, but this devastation was unlike anything they had faced. Ishbel, clutching the tablet as if it were a lifeline, understood that he held the key to salvation. His journey to Bashan would be fraught with peril, but the visions in the temple left no room for hesitation. With a band of loyal warriors, he set out across treacherous deserts and shadowed forests, each step drawing them closer to an uncertain fate. The tablet, likely powered by an energy akin to the divine Me from Sumerian lore, seemed to guide Ishbel, imbuing him with a sense of purpose. As they approached the towering mountains of Bashan, the air seemed charged with an ancient presence. The journey's trials had forged bonds among Ishbel's followers, but their resolve was tested anew when they came face to face with the Rephaim, the giants. Their massive forms, shrouded in a timeless aura, regarded the Amorites with suspicion. Og, stepping forward with a commanding presence, demanded an explanation. "Why have you come here, little man?" he rumbled, his voice resonating like distant thunder. Ishbel, though dwarfed by the giant, met his gaze without fear. "I bring a warning and a plea," he said firmly. "The Anunnaki have turned against us, and they will not spare your kind. We must unite to stand against them." Og's eyes narrowed as he studied the young leader. "That relic you hold," he said, pointing to the tablet. "It was forged by my people. Do you even understand its power?" Ishbel shook his head. "I only know it can help us fight back." The giants murmured among themselves, their voices a low rumble of unease. The alliance that followed was uneasy at best. Many of the Rephaim looked down on the Amorites, while Ishbel's warriors struggled to trust the towering beings they once considered legends. Still, necessity forged bonds where kinship could not. Together, they prepared for the coming storm. Recent excavations near the region suggest defensive structures that might have been built by ancient peoples, working alongside giants, fueling the legend of such alliances. When the Anunnaki army arrived, the skies darkened as if heralding the end of days. Lightning split the heavens, and the earth trembled under the weight of celestial weapons. The Rephaim, wielding massive clubs and stones, charged into battle with roars that echoed across the battlefield. Side by side, the Amorites fought with unyielding determination, their smaller forms darting through the chaos with precision and courage. Ishbel's blade danced like a streak of light as he rallied his people, while Og, towering over friend and foe alike, faced Ninurta in single combat. "You dare challenge me?" Ninurta sneered, his divine armor gleaming in the dim light. "You are but a relic of a failed age." Og's laughter was a deep, resonant sound. "And you," he replied, "are a god who fears his own creation." Their clash was nothing short of cataclysmic, each strike of their weapons sending shockwaves across the battlefield. Meanwhile, guided by the tablet's cryptic instructions, Ishbel and a small group of warriors descended into an ancient city buried beneath Bashan. Within its labyrinthine halls lay a device of unimaginable power, its purpose shrouded in mystery. The city, perhaps akin to the biblical city of Ashtaroth in Bashan, was rumored to hold remnants of advanced knowledge predating human civilizations. "What if this destroys us all?" one of Ishbel's companions asked, his voice trembling. Ishbel's gaze was steady as he replied, "If we do nothing, we're already destroyed." As the battle raged above, Ishbel activated the device. A blinding light erupted from the chamber, engulfing the battlefield and severing the Anunnaki's connection to the mortal realm. Ninurta's enraged screams echoed as he and his forces dissolved into nothingness. Their reign of terror ended. When the light faded, a profound silence fell over the battlefield. The giants, their purpose fulfilled, began to crumble. Og, kneeling amidst the ruins, turned to Ishbel one last time. "Tell our story," he rumbled, his voice filled with a quiet dignity. "Let the world remember." As his massive form disintegrated into dust, Ishbel felt the weight of history settle upon his shoulders. The imagery of his dissolution echoed tales of giants fading into myth, as recorded in both biblical and extra-biblical texts. Years later, Ishbel, now a grizzled elder, sat among the ruins of Bashan. Around him, young Amorites listened with rapt attention as he recounted the tale of Og and the Rephaim. "Power," he said, his voice heavy with experience, "is a dangerous thing. Whether it belongs to gods or men, it always comes with a cost." Above them, the stars shimmered, silent witnesses to an age-old struggle. The story of the giants and the gods became legend, a reminder of the fragile line between ambition and hubris. Historical texts and folklore from across the region continued to preserve fragments of this tale, ensuring that its lessons would endure for generations.